Hello everybody and welcome back to Dusty Cove. This is going to be an incredibly action-packed video. For once we're going to have a longer video, because recently they have been in the region of 20 to 25 minutes, and to be honest that isn't really what I'm looking for. I know a lot of people prefer it when I do half an hour to 40 minutes as a video, and I agree, because if you do actually get into the video, hopefully you do, then the last thing you want is to just get into it and then me finally say, yeah, that's it. Goodbye for now. Yeah, famous line of mine to say at the end of a video. Anyway, I have now written down everything which we're going to do. So from now onwards, every episode is going to be planned properly, because it's becoming all too often that I'm in the middle of an episode and I say, what should we do now and stuff. And then the reason why I say that is because I haven't planned it properly. So yeah, everything is now going to be planned correctly. So I can tell you, because I've got the sheet in front of me for today's episode, that today we're going to be repairing the Chrome Big X because it has actually broken down. It's in the field just behind this pit, you can just about see it. And yes, it has completely packed up. It won't start at all. So that is job number 2. This is basically job number 1. Giving them a bit of silage. I've already given them some grass, so that is all done. They're okay for water. And they're okay for, what is it? Hay? What is it? Let me just think. Yes, hay. Hay and silage. That's what we're doing now. So I think one more bucket load should do it nicely. And then we're not going to be using this JCB again today. Unless, of course, we need it for job number 3. There is a possibility, but I would have thought we'll be using the Valtra with the front loader. So when I've tipped this bucket, there we go, I'll explain to you what we're doing after the Chrome Big X. I'll just put this back. Basically, we have got to go over to the BGA, the Biogas Plant, to go and compact the silage pit which we've done. The chaff is in there, but I haven't actually compacted it down. So what it really needs to do is ferment, because all of that is going to be sold. It's going to ferment and then it's going to be sold as it is. So that should be a very large amount of income for us. But first, into the pickup, which is just here. Let me just pull forward. That gets it ever so closer just to be able to pick up the toolbox and throw it in the back. It's a heavy toolbox, it's full of very big spanners. So yeah, let's just reverse out of here. We'll go over to the Big X and I'll try and demonstrate to you that it just will not start at all. Knowing my luck, although it would be a good thing, it will probably start first time. But I've been attempting it. I turned it over about 4 or 5 times in a row and it just didn't start. Wow, that was a big bump. So it's going to need to have some repair work even if it does start first time, because it's obviously way overdue the maintenance. So let's give it a go. Nope. Nope. That's 2. 3. Ah, there we go. So it has started, but as you can see it says maintenance required, and clearly it is completely overdue because this has never been done ever in this Let's Play. So it's treating it as a completely, massively, ridiculously overdue service. I probably didn't have to exaggerate that quite so much, but yes, it does need to be done. Let's just go up to it with our tools. We have an obsession with throwing our tools about. What did that say? Maintain for £3,000. You beast! We should have rented it. That's ridiculous. It isn't rented. It is definitely ours. £3,004. Wow. At least it will start first time now, and we should elapse some time. There we go. An hour to do a bit of maintenance on it. All new oil. It should have been in a yard really, in a workshop. But yeah, that would do. It would have meant towing it otherwise. So if we just move it on into one of the barns, it's actually lost its space because I've put the sprayer outside and then inside I've reversed the grass loading wagon just because obviously it didn't want to get wet with the New Holland tractor, but that can move if it needs to. I wonder if it'll fit in the workshop. If it does, that is a good place for it. That pipe is going to hit. But I suppose, actually... Oh no. Maybe the beacons. Yeah, the beacons. As I was saying though... Oh, that did just about clip it, I think. Oh, the brakes don't work too well. But yeah, as I was saying, I think that is the best place to put it, because obviously it's out of the way, and it's in a position where we don't need to go too often. So with job number 2 effectively done, 2 out of 4 today, we can move on to job number 3, which is silage pit compacting. We do still have the lizard pickup. I know a lot of you wanted me to get the transit van, but I think we're a bit too late in the series to get it, so I promise in the next series, which we do, which would hopefully be the West Coast, we'll get the transit van right from the start, from episode 1. That would be the best option here, instead of just getting rid of it for the sake of it. So if we park this here, it means we are very close to the New Holland tractor, which we're going to use for this job, and also the compactor, which is this little contraption next to it. So if we drop that off there, probably should have lowered it a bit first, but here it is. We may put it on the front when we use it. I suppose that will be more beneficial to us. But I really don't know how long this is going to take. The compactor should really speed things up, so it shouldn't take long at all. I will never get over the time when I was doing the Wexcombe Manor Farm map. Brilliant map it is. But when I was doing some silage compacting, in fact I think it might have been before an update, so compacting might have taken longer, not too sure. But it honestly, it took me 25 minutes in real time to compact the smallest amount. Well, it wasn't really too small, I suppose. What was it? Probably 100,000 litres. I'm not too sure. Obviously you can go back in my videos and find it if you want to. But it wasn't that much. So I think they have changed a few things since then. That would have been January time. January, February this year. So, yeah, that was weird. Since then it's taken about 5 minutes to do. Which maybe is a bit too fast. Maybe the 25 minutes was more realistic. I suppose it just depends how much time you're willing to put into it. But when it comes to doing these videos, there isn't really too much time to waste, since we've got to cram everything in the, what would it be, 12-hour day? Probably more than 12 hours, 12 to 16 hours. Somewhere in the region, because it's different every time. But what I can say is we started at 4 AM in this episode. I was doing some feeding of the cows first thing, and then obviously you saw some of it at the beginning of this episode. I'm very cautious now when it comes to feeding the animals, because I don't want them to die. We lost 3 cows a few episodes back, and that was fairly costly for the farm, because these animals need to be transferred to the next map, which like I say is hopefully going to be the West Coast. And yeah, the more we have the better, because the more we have, the more they breed, and if it's the cows, the more milk we get. So it's very important. Okay, so yeah, we go up here, the next turning on the left after this one, and then I think it's a turning on the right, but we'll find it. Oh yes, before I get too sidetracked, field number 10, which is on our right hand side here, this is the field which we put the cover crop in, so I'm hoping it's going to be, well, the next crop should be really good. Obviously it's not the cover crop now, it is, what would it be? What did I put in here? Let me just pull over. Oilseed rape. Oh no, actually it's beans. I forgot. It's the field which we did as soybeans, although we're treating them as just beans. Generic beans. No such thing as a generic bean. But I don't think soybeans are planted in the UK, so it is just the beans which you would plant on an agricultural scale in the UK. If anybody does beans on their farm, please let me know the most common variety for this sort of thing. I'd love to know, and I'll hopefully give you a shout out in the next video or two. It may not be the next one actually, because it may be recorded before this one is even published. But oh, I'm sorry. Oh, not going well, am I? This is not going down well at all. I did have my hazards on, I think, didn't I? Maybe not. Well, here we are. The biogas plant. I would be very interested to see how much this weighs actually with the compactor on the back. we can see how much the compactor itself weighs. That is 13, well, over 13 tons, 13.2 tons pretty much, and that is 10.9 tons. So, any good mathematicians among us, that would be very useful. 1 second. Using my ingenious idea of having a calculator to hand, I have discovered that this compactor on the back weighs 2.3 tons if you're rounding it down, but if you want to be precise, it is 2,324 kilograms, which is actually very heavy. But it makes sense, since it has to be heavy to compact. So what we're going to do is begin the compacting phase. It's going to be quite tricky to begin with, because it's a bit mountainous, as you can see. In fact, maybe we should start off with it on the back, because you can't really use it straight away anyway. It's more for levelling it off once you've got the humps and bumps out. I will turn it on, but chances are I'll have to turn it off again. Although that is working nicely. Oh, that is a very mountainous piece. The more wheels the better, the more weight the better. Actually, that is working well. Very well indeed. I do recommend this. If you're going to do some silage pit compacting, this mod is useful. The other top tip is the more wheels the better. So, I don't know, tow a trailer or something. This is if you're not looking for realism. If you're looking for realism, use the compactor. Oh, no! We are marooned. That bit is steep. So how fast are we compacting here? 27%, 28, 29. It's not too bad actually. Probably a 5-minute job to get it perfect. But if you think about it, we have got effectively 13,255 kilograms here. That's quite a bit of weight when it comes to just compacting some chaff. Usually I think you use these JCB wheel loaders with a buck rake, but this seems to do a very good job. Oh, what's this? Great demand at Dusty Cove sales for sugar beet? Well, that's going to scupper my plans if we go for that one, but it's tempting because we have plenty of sugar beet. We could do. Oh, another tip as well, which I should have actually thought of myself. If you're not going to put too much inside the pit, then definitely start from the middle and go outwards, because otherwise when you're compacting it, you'll actually spill it outside the boundaries of the fermentation zone. So when it blankets it over, you'll actually leave some of it as chaff. Now I've tried to clear it up before and put it back in, which is possible, but make sure you put it in right in the middle, otherwise you're just going to spread it out again, because you have to recompact it. I don't think there's anything I can do really now, so we'll cover it over, and then what's spilt out we'll just clear up later once it's fermented, because I don't have a front loader here, which is unfortunate, but yeah, nothing I can really do about it. Anyway, that is done. We'll put it over here out of the way, and that's all switched off. Good. And that should just be as simple as pressing R and covering it over. So that looks good. As I explained, here is the overspill. It won't be too much though, that won't accumulate to anything at all really, maybe 2%. But yeah, it can just go back in afterwards to be fermented later. So, on to job number 4, which is a bit more involved. This is the Poplar Planting. What? Where did that come from? We've got to go and do some poplar planting. Field 11 is the best place for it. Now, we're actually in quite a good position, really. And the main reason why is because you use the Chrome Big X to harvest it. If we didn't have it, it wouldn't be worth doing, because it only turns it into wood chips, and wood chips are worth a minimal amount. So, yeah, this is definitely one of those things which you can't really do just for the sake of it. You have to be able to afford it or have the machinery, which we do, so that's all good. It's a good way to diversify, but you need to make sure you've got plenty of land and plenty of patience, I suppose, because you're not going to make a fortune very quickly through wood chips. That was some amazing driving from the red truck. Which way should we go back? I suppose this way. We'll go back in cab view. 21 degrees, 14 degrees soil temperature. That sounds like the summertime. Midsummer. Oh yes, a few of you did notice as well that I put the season's length back to 3 days. Now there's only one real reason why I did this, and I won't be doing it next time in the next series. It's because what we've got to do really now is just harvest things and then sell everything. Then this series is pretty much finished. It's been a fantastic map to play on, and I dare say we'll come back to it again in the future. But we've already done, this is our second year, so obviously we're repeating jobs if we continue for too long. So that is why I have reduced the amount of days, because the less days we have, the sooner we finish, which actually sounds like a bad thing, but actually you'll thank me in the end, because otherwise there's going to be many episodes of just doing nothing, twiddling our thumbs basically. So that is all good there. What we're going to do is take this back, because we're going to need this tractor. I suppose we could actually keep the buckets here. I can't really see a reason for taking the bucket back. What we do need though is pallet forks for this. There we go. And we should be able to go left out of here instead of turning right, since we're not towing a trailer. It does get very bumpy through here, so I'm just going to kill my speed. May have to put the front loader up to get over the wall. There we go. Right. So, it's going to be another trip to the shop. Everybody loves to go to the shop. And I don't know how many pallets we're actually going to require. I think, actually, it's only going to be about 2. I can't see why it would use more than 2, maybe 3. Which in a way is a bad thing, because it means that we have to try and find a good flatbed trailer, which I don't think we have. We may do, and may just be forgetting about it, but if we do more than 2 or 3 pallets we're going to have to put them on the trailer, otherwise we're going to be going backwards and forwards to the store way too often. And this needs to be cut as well. It will be cut probably in 2 episodes time, and it will be for hay or for forage, but at the moment I am undecided. So where did I put my pallet forks? They can't be too far away. Yeah, this is an issue because I always lose them. I lose pallet forks continually. It's a bale spike. Okay, so that is not what we want. We want to have these pallet forks. That will do. There they are. I left them in a sensible place for once. We may have to just push them around a bit. There we go. Oh, a bit too much. Good. Okay, so it begins. Which tractor shall we use? I think the Claas tractor or the Ford. Both of which I believe are over here. Oh, I suppose, actually, slam those brakes on. The pickup. I am led to believe you can put a pallet in the back of the pickup. If I'm not mistaken. If I am mistaken, I'm about to find out. But I think you can do. Come on, out you come. You stay there. So we'll have to get a worker to drive this for us. It's very tempting to drive this thing fast. I know I shouldn't do. We need to drive at a very sensible pace through here. It's just one of those vehicles which you just can't resist putting your foot down on. Right, okay. I probably should have said there, actually. That's probably bad grammar. Foot down, in. Yeah. That just came back to me. It sounded terrible. Right. We can now move on. We can cross the road and go over here. So, if I just spin round so it can follow us continually without stopping, hopefully it will do, we should then be able to add to our convoy, if you want to call it that. Sounds weird, but yeah, this tractor here, which is going to have the planter attached to it. Is that attached? I think it is. It is. So hopefully we can find the course. Yeah, there we go. I've put it to about 15 feet or meters, following behind, so that should all be very good. Let's just hope everybody makes it there in one piece. I'll keep a look out myself, so if there's not enough space for us to all pull out here, we won't go, but it's very hard to see. I think it's clear. Looks okay to me. Okay, brilliant. And now down to the store. 2:10 already in the afternoon. Where is that time gone? Time really does fly. We started at 4. Here we are, our favourite place, the store. Or the vehicle shop, I should probably call it. The store is anything. Any way you buy something. Right, so I think the main object... Oh, let me get the Claas in here. Can be blocking the road otherwise. There we go. Yes, the main objective here is obviously just to get the poplars planted, which means we don't want to be spending a fortune. We can't spend a fortune. So there's definitely going to be a lot to be said for... Sorry, I'm just stopping. There is a massive spider in front of me on the sheet of paper that I have written my jobs down on. Please bear with me while I just dispose of it. Okay, all good. That was so random. This piece of paper just started moving and there's a spider there. I hate spiders. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, we're going to lease it. There we go. And then we require the poplar sapling pallets. Now, they're not too expensive, although they are much more expensive than the tree saplings. I suppose it's because they are more yielding, they're higher yield, and they're much faster. So I can understand that. But 2 is the limit for the time being. Last thing we want to do is buy too many. Although £280 doesn't sound like an awful lot in farming simulator terms, I think if that was real life, if you'd spent £280 for nothing, you would be slightly frustrated. Come on, come on. This is a bad angle to be doing it at. I can't see my forks. There we go. Well, I can see them. It's just you can't really get a good idea how close they are. So, with a bit of luck, this is going to fit into the back. Actually, no, maybe we could take 3. We could take 3. Because one can go directly onto the planter. One can stay on the forks. Probably shouldn't do, but it can do. And the third can go into here. If it fits. Let's just hope it fits. It does. I think. Is that in? It is. That is in. Oh, lifting it up there. Right, it's a little bit light on the front there, it has to be said. We could do it a front weight. Shame we can't do. But it's in there. It is very heavy. If it came a bit further forwards, it'd be okay, but I can't seem to get it past the wheel arches. So, that's as good as it gets. But yeah, we should be able to get there in one piece, hopefully. So we'll just add it to the queue of vehicles ready to go. Not looking too good for its, what's it got, leaf springs? Whatever it has under here, can't be too healthy. Luckily it's just a few miles, so yeah, we'll add the other tractors to the queue. Now this is actually one of those jobs which I prefer to use a worker for. I'm not just saying that just to get the easy way out. It's because really I'm not very good at doing this job at all. Now I know practice makes perfect and everything, but do you really want to see an absolute disgrace? It would be disgraceful. The finish on it and everything is going to look terrible. Although I suppose the workers could mess up too. But I know I'm not very good at it. I suppose it actually GPS could work quite well. I'll give it a go. but I think we may finish off having a worker. Whoa! Well, let's go first. Right, see you at the field. Well, it's actually going very well. I've raced off at 50 miles per hour down here in 60, and they've actually been able to keep up with me somehow. Now I suppose it's because I've had to brake for the turnings and everything, but they've done a very good job. And the Valtra has actually got a crate on the front of it, and it's still there. So some top drivers here. It's always good when you've got good workers. We can't go too fast anymore though, because we've got a slow dithering driver in front of us doing 30 in a 60. Well, here we are. Luckily we can... Oh, I'm going to say hopefully we can go without him following, but he's in front of us, for crying out loud. Sorry, taking my frustration out on the AI drivers. They can be annoying. They can be. Because they're so slow. And it's confused my Valtra tractor, it's driven into a hedge. Crying out loud. There we go. The peace can return. And I'm hoping this is actually going to work, because I haven't cultivated the field or anything, but as far as I'm aware, you don't have to. Because obviously this planter has got like a rotivating, churning up device on it. Very technical. Very, very technical terminology here. But yeah, as far as I'm aware, you don't have to have any kind of cultivation first. We did put the slurry on, so that's worked its way in. So it should be very productive. It should be very good indeed. Hopefully. If it does need cultivating, that's fine. We can do it next time. But yeah, I just don't think we do. Hopefully I'm right on this occasion. So let's just stop here and get it going. Again, it may get a little bit confused the first time. I did say I was going to do it, but I think once it gets into full swing, this will just be so much better, and it'll make it so much better when it comes to harvesting too. So, yep, it doesn't seem to mind that it's not cultivated. Perfect. What we have to do then is keep it topped up, but I do know that it doesn't consume it very fast. So, I bet it's still on 99%. 200. Oh, no. How many times can you say no? Do not buy. Do not buy. Costing us money. It was indeed still on 100%. For the wrong reason. So, what I'm going to do is just remove these straps while we're here. Get that one off there, that one off there. We'll put the tailgate down. And, well, it may just fall out the back, it tends to. But if it doesn't, we'll use the front loader. Ugh. Yeah, I wish there was a little bit less grab in these pickups, if you know what I mean. Like, this obviously fits in here, with the exception of the wheel arches, but it just doesn't really allow you to put it in there nicely with the front loader. It probably shouldn't be in there, though. Okay, we have no progress here. Good. Everything is going again. So, this is the crate which can be just stored over here for the time being. Meanwhile, we will remove this excessive weight from the back axle of the pickup. I'm sure it doesn't appreciate it at all. But it would have meant otherwise either going back there for another load or buying or leasing a small trailer, which would have been quite expensive. Let's get this right. There we go. Good. That seems to be working as it should do. I don't think it's stopped. Nope, that's still moving. So we'll put the tailgate up on here. And it's going to be in the way eventually, so we better move it out of the way. We won't drive through the freshly planted poplars. We'll put it under these trees. 6:30. Alright, we're doing okay. Time is not a big issue at the moment. Yep, that seems to be working well. So I've just got to keep it supplied. We will finish at about 8:30 and continue tomorrow. so I can actually start writing down tomorrow's jobs so I don't forget them. There's likely going to have to be a little bit of animal work because they're going to run out of, what would it be, water? Water's halfway, so yeah, probably the pigs are going to want water, and the pigs also require something like canola or sunflowers, soybeans, that kind of thing, and power food for the cows. So that's already two things written down, animal work and poplar planting. I can actually do the animal work while the poplars are being planted because obviously, as I've already explained, it takes a while to consume each crate load, so a worker can just crack on with it. It should find it dead easy. And we seem to have a fairly skilled operator here, which makes the whole job very simple. Looking good. Looking very good. In case you are wondering about planting times and everything, poplars you can actually plant all the way until the end of autumn. So we have loads of time. Everything else, with the exception of, what would it be? Grass and oilseed radish. Oh, and canola, barley and wheat. Oh, that starts up again. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, everything else is finished here though. All the others. So it's one of those things that you can plant most of the year, just not winter. Yeah, winter you can plant nothing at all. But you can harvest the poplars, which we'll likely be doing. So Saturday, providing it's not too snowy, as you can see, it's showing snow on the forecast, that should be the poplar harvest day, and likely the final episode. But we'll see how it goes. It should be very productive, so yeah, looking forward to it. It has still got a lot in it, 14% consumed. So yes, I don't think we're even going to require the third pallet, but there was no harm in bringing it really. In fact, yes, at this rate, one pallet or crate is going to do the entire lot. That is very good. £280 that means, although I have spent way more than we needed to. Shame we can't sell them. Or can we? Don't think we can do. Pretty sure you can't. I won't bother looking, I don't think you can. Right, so there we go. It's just gone 8:30 and I think it's time for us to finish. So what we're going to do is just let this worker get to the end of here, and then we're just going to pack things up, leave them in the field though, and return tomorrow to continue planting the poplars. So hopefully this video is longer than usual. I think it's actually about 35 minutes if I'm not mistaken, maybe a little bit less. But no, progress has been fairly good today. So let me just switch this off. And there we go. So thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. And until next time, see you again very soon. Bye for now.